Oh, I decided to make a video. I don't make videos, but there wasn't many out there that answered all the problems at one time, so here goes. This is a 2011 Chevy 2500, and as you can tell, maybe I had a leak. It had been going on for a while. I have the Husky floor liners, plastic liners, so you know it didn't really bother me. I noticed the back carpet was a little wet every once in a while. Anyway, the truck sat for 2 months because I busted out the transfer case. So in the process of getting a new one and getting the time to fix it, while it sat, the evaporation and the moisture inside the cabin caused mold to grow, or white mold on the seats. The back seat was horrible. This is the back seat. There's the mold. Yeah. So when I decided to open the truck up and start to fix it, that's what I found. I guess from driving it for, you know, even though it was leaking, as long as you're using it every day, you know, you're letting fresh air in and out, so didn't have any issues. But now I do, so I decided to tear everything apart. And people talk about the third brake light leaking, the rivet in this molding right there. Well, it's not a rivet, it's a plastic push pin thing. The pressure vents, cabin pressure air vents. So anyway, this is what I found. I took it apart. See the stain there, and on that side you see that stain. So what I found was one problem is I just have it taped for now while I'm fixing them. I don't know if it's gonna rain fixing them, but these leak down right here. Right here is where the vent sits, and you can see this is the bottom of the vent right here. So you can see that this padding had been getting wet for quite a while. The headliner has a stain, and it looks a lot darker on camera. It's really not that bad, but so yes, the third brake light's leaking, and it's coming over, and I guess it catches the end of this cloth and it wicks it up, and that's how you get that stain. And the water travels down, and you will feel it when your carpet is down. The plastic trim is on here and the carpet goes over, so right here, if you feel back here, you'll feel if it's wet. That's the easiest place to see. If you have any moisture or dampness, you have a leak. The carpet is rubber backed carpet, so all this padding gets wet and you won't even know it because the rubber backing, until this fills up a lot of water and then it starts to come out over on top of the carpet, then you can feel that your carpet's wet. That's when you have a lot of water. But it lays down this channel. You can see the nuts are rusted, but it runs down this channel right up to the front, and everything gets wet up front. Nice, huh? So this is a 2011. All the research I did from 2007 all the way up to 2018, people have complained about these cabin vents, the third brake light. So I don't know, in 11 years they haven't fixed it. So, or I don't know. Not too happy about all that. After doing the research, all the people that are complaining about this. Get a close up of this one. There you go. Same thing, there's the vent, and then it's been leaking for quite a while. This one's already been fixed and put back in. I'll tell you what I did in a second. That headliner, the water travels to the right, travels to the left, and that does come down the side. This seal right here, or weld, or whatever you want to call it, the plastic trim comes out to about right here. So the water runs down and it stays behind this, creates like a little dam, and it runs down here, and then it runs down here and fills up, making it difficult to feel the wetness and to just figure out where it's coming from. So I guess the easiest thing for me was the stain in the headliner, but I had no idea that those were leaking. Oh, and to get these out, these they slide up here, and then there's two clips here. When you push it in to get it out, you just push up on these, push out, and it falls straight down. You can't get it out from the side, and you can't get it out from the top. It falls straight down to get it out of there, and there's just enough room to slide these out of here outside. This is how much water came out of just vacuuming the padding underneath. So what I did to fix this vent, let's see, the problem with the vent was it's cracked. It's cracked there, and it's cracked there. And both of these vents had the crack. So what happens is it's like that. It's like that. The water runs down, gets behind the seal, runs down. Runs down here across, and then the truck metal is cut out for this little notch here, and the water lays in here. It's trapped because of this gasket. It's trapped, has nowhere to go but into the truck. So the way I fix these, well, let me back up for a second. You can get these online, $18 to $20 a piece. The dealership, they are $50 a piece. But if it's still, I haven't seen a new one, if it's still the same design, this plastic is not thick enough. Whatever is causing them to crack, I'm not going to buy the same thing and get 4 or 5 years out of it, and it's going to crack again. So the other one's already been fixed. So what I did is I cut pieces of aluminum and JB welded them, pushed down, JB welded them, put some JB weld on the outside, and it made the whole thing flat, nice and rigid when I popped it back in. But what else I did, I haven't done this one yet. Down here, right here, I cut a little slit in the gasket, and I cut a slit in the gasket here. So should any water get in there again, it can run down and drain out to the ground. I also took silicone up the side, across the top, and down the bottom. Now I left the bottom open and pushed it back in. So this silicone should help create a dam. If any water does get in here, it should run down. And the bottom will have the 2 slits, plus it's open, you know, so the water can run out. And I think that's the best way to fix it. You know, I don't know if they've improved these or not, but from the pictures I've seen online, they look exactly like this one. And my truck's a 2011. It's been leaking for a couple of years, I know of. So this did not last very long. The other thing is the rivet, plastic push pin, whatever you want to call it. It's right there. I think you can see that. So this is the trim, or the gasket, door gasket. When the door is shut, this is supposed to hold this so that any water runs down and just goes out the back of the truck. But I'm sure it's not perfect. I'm sure water gets behind it, which runs down, and then it's supposed to come where my finger is here. Any water would pour down here and then run down onto the ground. So some people are talking about cleaning this up and putting silicone here to stop water from getting into that little hole right there, but I don't really know if that's a problem. You can see I have there's a flange on it, but I'll probably clean it and put a little silicone on it just to make sure it's not a problem. The third brake light, the cab of the truck goes like this, and the brake light goes like this. So whether it's done that because it's heated from sun, it's just, I don't know, it's a dumb design. The light is long, and there's a screw at the left and a screw at the right, and if they just had a screw in the center to tighten up the gasket, then everything would be fine. But I bought this online. It's supposed to be, they advertise it as being a thicker gasket, but it's double-sided sticky, and I just think that's dumb. If you ever want to take the light off, it's going to stick to the light or stick to the truck, and so every time I change a light bulb, I have to replace this. And I don't know if they're talking about using this and you leave the stock foam on there. I don't know. I'm probably not going to use this. I don't think it's thick enough, because I want it sealed. I'm probably going to use door seal tape, single-sided, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch thickness width. Stick it to the metal of the truck so that the gasket will be on the truck, and then when I put the light on, it'll compress it wherever it needs, and obviously it's going to compress it here where the screw is, and on the other end where the screw is, and then the center will get whatever it gets. I think that's the way I'm going to fix that. I think that's it. I don't know if you know, it's got a nice damp smell like a basement. I don't know if I'll be able to get rid of that smell or not after I steam, carpet, clean everything. So anyway, I just wanted to make a video. All those people are right. It can be the vent, it can be the third brake light, it can be the rivet. Some people talk about the weld, but I haven't found any welds that I would think would cause a leak. I have to re-sticky these back on because they're coming loose, but unless they're talking about there, it's a wonder I haven't lost those yet. That's the only thing I can think they're talking about. And another thing I checked too is, you know, these new windows, they don't have the trim piece that you just snap in anymore. I mean, they all seal by the glue anyway, so the water does roll right down here. It runs right in this crack, and then it runs right down. So if there's any break in the seal that holds this window, you could get a pretty good leak from these windows also. That's it. Anything you want to say? Speak. Really? Speak. Speak. Be a man. Say bye. Hey. 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 Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Now speak. That's better. All right, brother.